guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. So today I'm going to give you the first view at a series that I'm going to be doing. I'm getting ready and geared up to make some meals for my husband and the guys that he goes hunting with. They're getting ready for a big elk hunt, archery season. And so I've got a little while, but I want to get some meals made up for them. So, and I don't want them to have all the sodium and preservatives, or at least I want to limit it as much as possible. So I'm going to use my own dehydrated vegetables, and I'm going to make, it's kind of like meals in a jar, and I'm probably going to do some of those as well, but mine are going to be in a pouch. And so that way they can cook it right in the pouch. I've already tested some of them and they taste delicious, because I started getting stressed about how I'm going to measure the water and how I'm going to measure everything, and I thought I just need to add the ingredients like I would add it if I was cooking it on the stove. And so I'm just going to measure that way, and I know they'll love it. And I can make these van-size meals, not mini meals. So usually the guys get the Mountain House meals for 2, and that's what they eat, and that's they have to eat the whole thing because they're working really hard hiking and stuff. And so anyways, I hope this brings you along for the ride, and I hope it inspires you to maybe think outside the box and start some dehydrating. And if maybe you're a backpacker or a hiker, these are great. I mean, you can do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Hi guys, I'm glad you stayed along for this ride. Holy mackerel, and I don't even think I have all the spices and things that I need out of the cabinet, but this right here to some people may look like, oh, a willy-nilly, what's she doing? This is going to be the start of my meals in a jar, only these are going to be meals in a pouch. My husband and his buddies are going hunting, and so I'm going to bring you along for this ride, and I'm actually going to make some meals, but they're going to go into a Mylar pouch where they can cook them out in the field, just add water. So, and I'd really like to thank the Provence channel. Deb, I really want to thank you for inspiring me to get off my butt. I've had this stuff for over a year, and some of which I just ordered when they had a sale at Honeyville, but for the most part I've had all this. So I bought this book last year online, and it's Dinner in the Jar by Kathy Clark. This is a great book, and if you have a hard time putting flavors together, she does it for you. She does a lot of dishes that have 2 jars, but she's also got a label for you to photocopy and paste onto your jars. It's a great way to really just, I mean, she's got ground beef stroganoff, and she uses a lot of her canned meats. So it's not dehydrated or freeze-dried. It's actually her canned meats that she would use with the jars and, you know, the meals in a jar. So I just really, if you haven't seen this book, I remember it was pretty inexpensive. I got it off of Amazon, so go check it out. Or, you know, I'm going to put mine together the way I cook, instead of being stressed out that I can't figure it out, because I've made a couple of these for the guys and they love them. So I definitely want to make sure that we're doing the right thing, and we just start putting it together. And their complaint mainly with the other meals have been that they weren't big enough, number one, and you know, there's too much sodium and all that, and they don't have any flavor. And so I'm going to try to remedy that with everything about here. I also wanted to show you that I rehydrated some of the chicken, the Honeyville Farms. Actually, it's a rancher's choice, but Honeyville Farms is where I got it. This chicken rehydrates to the point you could make chicken salad. It's just like any other chicken you'd ever have. I mean, it's perfect. So make sure you can see that. There you go. See that? And it's really good. It's just white meat. It's perfect. I'm definitely going to buy some more. I like that idea of having the option. And then the ham, they're just little ham chunks, and they're delicious as well. So I think the guys are gonna love it. I know I am. And I'm gonna put together a couple of dishes here for you. First off, my husband is a mac and cheese kind of guy. So I've got some elbow macaroni. And if you're gonna have, like he usually would have a box of mac and cheese, and you could certainly do that. You could put a box of mac and cheese in there, and that would be your meal. But I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna actually do a cup of pasta, which a cup of pasta cooked ends up to be 2 cups. I don't know why I don't have my funnel here. Got it out. Okay. Then I want some of my homemade Alfredo mix because it's got cheeses and oh, it's just delicious. So I'm actually going to put down a half a cup of the Alfredo mix, and I want a 1/4 of a cup more of powdered milk. And this is not instant, this is just non-fat powdered milk. I want to make sure it's nice and creamy. And then we want a 1/2 a cup of, ooh, yum, of Monterey Jack cheese. That'll make it cheesy. And we need a 1/2 a cup of ham, the diced ham. Delicious. And we're just about full, but I'm not quite ready. And then I've got some other cheese powder that I'm going to put down in here. And you kind of have to shake this down because your mac takes up some room. And then to be really healthy, I'm going to add, oh, that's going to be good, some freeze-dried peas to the mix. Okay, and there you go. Isn't that pretty? Now, I would love to see that by itself. I should put the powdered ones down below, but it's all going in a Mylar bag, so it really doesn't matter. And I would rehydrate this with 2 cups of water. So we're gonna get a Mylar out, and these are Mylar bags that I bought last year, and I store a lot of my dehydrated stuff in these because it's dark, it's sealable, I can reseal them. And I'm just gonna put this right down in here. And just to prove how delicious and make sure my measurements are correct, now you could put an oxygen absorber in here, but these are not gonna be on the shelf that long. So now I get to write mac and cheese. Let's see. Mac. Yeah, okay. And that's going to be a big meal for him. That's way more food than he's used to, okay? But they hike all day and they're hungry. So there's meal number 1. I'm going to duplicate that because I want to cook that for you. And let's do it a little bit different here. Let's get our 1/4 of a cup of milk. We'll do it this way. Powdery stuff on the bottom like Deb does it. Where's the funnel? There's the funnel. Okay. Powdery stuff down. Here's the cheese, the orange cheese. Okay, now we're getting to where it's 1/4 cup of Monterey Jack. Oh, and a 1/4 cup of ham. Right? And we need a cup of mac and cheese. I need the Alfredo. See, I still didn't do it right. That's okay. That's okay. I think I did a half cup of Alfredo. And the Alfredo will help thicken it because it's got flour in there as well. So you've created a roux right away. And then pasta. And you use whatever pasta you like. Okay. And I'm gonna, oh, look how pretty. And then peas, don't forget the peas. While I'm, did something different, looks like. I don't know what I did different. Did I put a half a cup of cheese, maybe? We'll put some more cheese in there. Maybe that's it. And then anyway, we're gonna cook this, so we'll cook it the way they're going to cook it while I'm making one more of these, okay? I need to write that down, huh? Okay. So I have, just so happens to have, boiling water. And they have these little cool stoves that they use out there in the field. And so they have, it'll boil water in 5 minutes. They told me the other day though, when they were doing a taste test, that they get a little anxious and they don't wait long enough. So I'm pouring the boiling water down in here. And we're just gonna let this go. You don't need salt. The cheese, all that stuff has salt in it. The ham has salt. Pepper would be good. Okay, so that's gonna sit here while I'm making some more meals. And let's see, what do I wanna make now? I think my husband's he loves Italian food. And so I really like the fact that I can give him some kind of an Italian inspired meal. Again, a cup of pasta, because I know the man can eat 2 cups of pasta. And I'll need my spices. So we'll do a tablespoon of, I had to buy measuring spoons for this. I don't really measure a lot. I'm gonna put a little heaping tablespoon, we'll call that, of Italian seasoning. And then we need a teaspoon of herbes de provence. I want him to feel like he's home and that he doesn't have to worry about anything and that I'm taking care of him. So, okay, again, we might want some cheese. So I'm gonna use dried Parmesan because that would be shelf stable. And we're gonna give him, 2 heaping tablespoons of that. And now we need the meat part, the protein part. Oh, I want some mushrooms. Okay, so let's do the meat here. I also would like to Prepper Nurse RN, I believe. I'll leave links to the Provence channel and her. I'd really like to thank her too. It just gets us spurred on, and then of course Cat's Cradle's got me. My little wheels are turning, and
sorry about that.
That will be a edit for sure. So now we're gonna do the sausage, and I'm doing probably gonna do a full cup, but we'll do it in half-cup increments. This sausage is also from Honeyville, and it is fabulous. It's like you can just eat it like little nuggets, like jerky. So Okay, now we have sausage in there. Let's get this off here. We want our cup of pasta, right? And now we need a half a cup of tomato powder. That tomato powder is going to make tomato sauce. So I'm just pouring that right down over. You could have that on the bottom as well, but I'm going to leave it up there. And then I really want some mushrooms in this one. So I've got my dried mushrooms. And they crunch down. They're delicious. And one last little tidbit. Some dehydrated cherry tomatoes. Just a little, maybe a palm full. They rehydrate, but they stay chewy and delicious. So there's my pasta. Oh, I could do some more of those, or some more mushrooms. Let's do some kale. Want to? I want some onion. I need some onion in there. Okay, so let's see, that's the half cup. So about a third of a cup of onion, because we like onion, and then some kale for some green, because they don't get many vegetables when they're out there. So there you go. Now it's full. And now I can put it in a pouch, and that's his Italian pasta bake. I need to go grab a couple more of these jars so I can just do them at the same time. And there you go. 2 cups of water. Well, probably 2.5 cups of water on this. Because there's more stuff that needs to rehydrate. I think. Okay. Okay, so Italian pasta bake. We'll keep it at 2 cups. They can always add more water. I'll know a little bit more after this mac and cheese is done cooking. And I want to make sure that I try to get as much air out of this as possible. Like I said, you could put a 100cc oxygen absorber in there and it'd stay good for quite some time. All right, so there's 2 meals, pretty easy. And I hope this inspires you to step outside the box you're in and maybe try some planning ahead. I also, the other day, my husband said he didn't have anything to eat. And I'm like, how could that possibly be? And he didn't know what to grab. And so I think I'm going to have some of these meals in a jar set up just for him. So all he has to do is add boiling water, flick that switch on the kettle, and he's good to go. Okay, it's time to test this out. And I can tell you that I tweaked the packages because I overestimated how much liquid, and that's why this is kind of a trial and error. So on the other packages, I added in another half cup of pasta to each one of them, because you'll see this is a little soupy and it just needed some more pasta. So, but it's got a great sauce. Look at that. So more pasta, and I know, a half a cup, that's going to cook up to 3 cups of pasta. My husband can eat 3 cups of pasta easy. So, and I did take a little help from Deb over at the Provence channel. I'm using this to make sure it gets thick enough, because out there they can always add a little bit more water, but man, if they don't want soup, it's not going to be a pleasant deal. And so this is how it came out with 1 cup of pasta. I also added to the other pouches some herbs de Provence and some black pepper, because I know that they're not going to have any seasonings out there, so we're going to put some right down on top and see what this tastes like. And I added another 1/4 cup of the peas, because I felt like Needed some more peas in there. So let's taste it and see if it cooked long enough. It's been about 20 minutes. Mmm. Yum. The pasta's a little, still got a little bit too much bite to it. It could be a little bit more done. But it has a great, almost like an Alfredo. Well, it has Alfredo sauce in there. That's probably why. Excellent. I could totally see another half cup of pasta cooked in here, and it would be perfect. Perfect. So there's one result of my meals in a pouch for the guys. I hope this truly inspires you to come back and see what I got going on next. I've gone ahead and made up, I guess there's 3 guys going on that trip, so I've made up 3 of each of the Italian and 3 of the mac and cheese, and I've got some great ones coming up on the next video, so stay tuned and come on back and see me. And thanks, Deb, for the helpful hint on the mashed potatoes. That'll work. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. God bless.